What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Today is day number 4 of uploading a video every single day until the end of the year. So on this 138-day grind, today we're going to be covering the highest rated young players going into FIFA 22. And the criteria to make this list is that you have to be under 23 years old. So if you're 23 years old or older as of today, August 19th, 2021, you're disqualified. Now there's some players that just turned 23 this year that would have obviously been on the list, like Marcus Rashford, players like Federico Valverde, you've got Lautaro Martinez, and then there's also some players that are almost in the top 15 but didn't quite scrape there. But honestly, if EA do change some ratings in this last month and a half until FIFA 22 does release, because there is some time for them to change their mind on a couple of ratings, especially given how they perform at the beginning of this league season. You might see players like Cucurella get up to this top 15, maybe Hassan Aouar, maybe Harvey Barnes. Players like that who didn't make the top 15 but are definitely top 20 or top 25. So with this list, it's not necessarily my opinions on what they should be rated. A couple of them are just educated guesses, and I've changed the ratings slightly, but most of them are just out of the SoFIFA career mode database, and it's basically EA telling us, hey, these are what we have them rated right now. And with a month and a half until the game releases, and probably less than that until they release the ratings, there's not much time for EA to really change too many of these. So all of these cards are going to be pretty accurate. If not, they're going to be quite close to what the rating you should expect. So let's hop in to this top 15. And here's the thing. Today, we've actually got a top 16 because there was one 82 rated card that I would have had to leave out, so I thought, hey, let's just include all the 82 rated so that we don't leave anybody out. And the first one is going to be Declan Rice, who's 22 years and 8 months. I think he deserves the upgrade to 82 because he's really become that first choice CDM for England. He had a great Euros campaign, and obviously he holds quite the price tag at West Ham United. I'm surprised he hasn't left for one of the top 6 Premier League clubs yet, but he's definitely West Ham's engine in the center. He's a very important player, and he just scrapes into this top 16 lineup. Next up, we've got Dio Upamecano, who got transferred from Leipzig to Bayern Munich. So he's already in one of my transfer videos a couple of weeks back. This card at an 82 rating is actually pretty sick. It's going to be quite a good starter card, especially if you're going France or Bundesliga. Nonetheless, he's going to have a price tag on him for the first couple of weeks. And I think he's going to be one of those cards that are going to be one of the prime early investments. In fact, he's probably in my top 5 in terms of investments that I'm looking at already going into FIFA 22. A couple of those reasons are, 1, this card is juiced. He's low rated, and he's likely to get a ones to watch card because of his transfer from Leipzig to Bayern, which means that he's going to get pulled out of packs very early on. So he's only going to be in packs for a few days, then he'll get pulled out of packs, which makes him even more rare, and his price will skyrocket. Now, if you guys are new to this channel and you don't know my history in FIFA Ultimate Team, my main thing is that I trade and I make coins. So if you're interested in doing that at the beginning of FIFA 22, I suggest hitting that subscribe button down below. You won't be disappointed. You'll get a ton of tips to make you some coins, especially very early in the game, to give you that head start that you need. Christian Pulisic actually turns 23 in exactly 1 month. So he's eligible, and I believe you'll have an 82 rated card. Going from 81 to 82, not a huge upgrade, but he has been a good part of Chelsea, a lot of times coming off the bench, but being a threat off the bench, and he's won quite a few trophies this year with Chelsea. So you're going to see a lot more Chelsea players in this video, actually. They have got quite a few young stars. Pulisic just scraping into the top 16 in both rating and age, but hey, you gotta throw the Captain America in the videos when you can. Next up, we've got Ferran Torres, which is honestly one of the tougher cards to predict. Firstly, I don't know if he's gonna be a right wing or a striker. He's kind of become Pep's number 9, but you can see how Pep doesn't want him as the only true number 9 in the club, and it hasn't worked out so well so far. Now, he is younger than the other players that we've had in this video, and he's actually only projected to be an 81 rated as of right now in the career mode database. However, all of his individual stats seem like they're going to get boosted, which I think will be enough to take him to that 82 rating that he needs to scrape the top 15. But the card doesn't look really fantastic anyways. You're not going to be using this even in starter teams, in my opinion. You could, but you're not going to get anything special out of him in terms of any stat. I mean, 83 pace isn't spectacular. 82 dribbling is all right. 77 shooting is average at best for a striker. But he is in the top 15, so you got to throw him in here, despite the fact that his card isn't that exciting. Mason Mount also had an amazing year with Chelsea and for England, obviously going to the finals of Euros, being Southgate's one of his main options at attacking mid, and winning the Champions League, winning the Super Cup, all that with Chelsea is obviously going to give him quite the boost. Now, whether it's to 81, 82, or 83 is still tough to tell, so I threw him at 82, right in the middle. His card, again, not going to look too great for a starter team card at all, but I do like the new face renders for Chelsea. You'll see them. You've already seen Pulisic. You'll see another Chelsea player here later in the video. I'm liking the grainy look to these new cards. I think they look actually pretty cool, and they're different from each club actually. So you're gonna see, players from Sevilla or players from Bayern like Upamecano. They look a little bit different in terms of how the media team did it for each club. I really like Chelsea's face renders though. Jules Koundé was linked to a few different clubs during this transfer window, but didn't end up leaving Sevilla. His card, as opposed to the last few we've looked at, is going to be pretty sick. And you can even link it with the Upamecano from earlier in this video, being two French center backs. 78 pace, 84 defense, 78 physicality, with 72 dribbling. That's a really good low-rated center back card. And he was actually used a little bit at the beginning of FIFA 21, and his stats weren't even this good. So now that he's got the upgrade, he's going to be another one of those cards that are pretty awesome to use in a starter team. Next up, we've got Martin Odegaard, and his card is going to look pretty similar to what we saw in FIFA 21, so the stats aren't going to change too much. Right now, he's actually under contract with Real Madrid, and he was on loan to Arsenal in the last season. Arsenal are trying to buy him on a permanent deal right now, but that hasn't been confirmed yet, so his card could look like this, or it could look like this going into the next season. Either way, it's not going to be too crazy of a card, but he's got good dribbling, he's got good passing, he's got good pace. If you've got players from his club around him or linked him with another Norwegian that you should expect later in this video, you could probably throw him in a team. And with a couple upgrades, this would actually be a pretty juicy card. Next up, we've got Phil Foden, currently injured, so he missed a match week 1, and I'm not sure how many weeks he's going to be out for, but one of the best young stars in the Premier League right now. He's kind of Manchester City's young gem that they've got going on, and I think he'll be 83 rated going into FIFA 22. He's got pretty solid dribbling. He's the youngest player in this episode yet. I don't think he's the youngest player overall, but he is the youngest player in this episode yet, and I don't know if he's going to be used in too many teams, but is starting to enter that field of 82, 83, 84 rated cards that you'll see a lot in squad building challenges. This card's pretty exciting because you're going to expect João Felix to have a 5-star skill move and a 4-star weak foot to go along with him. So despite the fact that, yes, his pace and shooting and passing is average, he's got awesome weak foot and skill moves to go along with it. So when you combine that with the 86 dribbling, he's going to be one of the more agile players, and he'll be really fun to use, especially when players don't have the greatest defenders to start the year. So you might not look at this card and think, oh, that's a great starter card, but once you think about those skill moves and weak foot, he's actually going to be pretty awesome to use early on in the game before players can afford Van Dijk and can afford even Upamecano, because he'll be kind of expensive after the first couple of days. Next up, we've got Matthijs de Ligt, which is a tough one to predict because I'm not sure if he's going to be 85 or 84 rated. He's definitely not in the spotlight quite as much as he was back when he was in the semifinals with Ajax, and Juventus didn't have the greatest of year either. So it's tough to keep him at 85 rated, but I also think at the same time it's a little harsh to downgrade him. So I just left him at 85 rating, and we'll see what EA ends up doing. Either way, he'll be number 7 on the rankings because there were no 84 rated on my list. So if he's 84 rated, he'll still end up being number 7 on this ranking list. As we enter into the top 6 rated U23 players, we've got Kai Havertz, and I think that he deserves an upgrade. Right now, he's not listed as getting an upgrade in the career mode database, but I don't care. I think he deserves one. He obviously had the goal in the Champions League final. He's won a ton of trophies with Chelsea. Yeah, Germany didn't have the greatest Euros, but in the end, Havertz was kind of one of their better players in that tournament, even though they didn't go very far. So I like Havertz a lot. I think he's one of the most talented young players in the world. And at this point, I think he might be a little underrated. I think he's a lot better than people make him out to be. You've got some other young stars that get all the attention. Maybe you'll see a few of them in the next 5 picks here, but Havertz is up there with them in terms of talent. I think he's an absolutely amazing player. I think he's probably Chelsea's best signing in the last 2 years, and I'd say that includes Lukaku, although, yeah, we've got to give Lukaku a chance to kind of throw him in that mix. I think Havertz is a great world-class player. Next up, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was 87 rated in FIFA 21. I think he's going to go to an 86 rating in FIFA 22. He obviously had a spectacular year when Liverpool ended up winning the Champions League, and then following that year, they won the league, and he got boosted from, I believe it was 80 rating to 83 to 87. In the past year, Liverpool as a whole was not nearly as good, and as an individual, Alexander-Arnold was quite good, but not enough to hold an 87 rating. So I think 86 is fair. It's still a very respectable rating. Unfortunately, the card is still not going to look great. He never really gets the stats in the right spots because passing is his highest stat, and that doesn't translate too well into FIFA. It's never one of the meta stats that you want to see from a defender. You always want to see pace, defense, physicality, sometimes dribbling, but passing ultimately is probably the second least important for a defender after shooting. So ultimately the card isn't going to be too usable unless the meta for FIFA 22 switches drastically, which I don't expect it to. Pace is always important, and he's just not fast enough for a fullback. But he's still going to be 86 rating, so you'll see him a lot in the SBC cheapest solutions on. This stud has already been playing in the top flight of football at Milan for 5 to 6 years now, which is crazy because he's still under 23 years old. That's unbelievable. And he got a big move to Paris Saint-Germain. I think he's going to be 87 rated, Donnarumma, in FIFA 22. And he'll have the links to the Kimpembe card, who I expect will have a decent card, and obviously Sergio Ramos, who is now at PSG, who I believe will be 88 or 89 rated. So you might see Donnarumma used in a little bit more teams this year, especially with how much attention PSG is getting. Although the prices of players on their team might be pretty high, I think it's the team to kind of build around going into FIFA 22. Next up, we've got the very, very hyped up transfer to Manchester United from Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho. I absolutely loved him when he was at Dortmund. I don't think he's going to go up any ratings or down any ratings. If he were to change in rating, it would probably be up, but I think he did well enough to hold that 87 rating, and that's what he's listed in the SoFIFA database as well. So I agree with that. I'll keep him at 87 rating, but the card looks a little better than it was in FIFA 21. A little bit more pace, a little bit more shooting, a little bit more passing. Still got great dribbling on that card, so definitely usable. You always wish you had more pace and shooting on this card, but it's gonna be a little bit higher rated overall if you're going to get that, because he's already got 91 dribbling. So if he's going to get up to, 87, 88 pace with over 80 shooting, it'll probably be with an overall upgrade as well. So you can't expect it to be too spectacular right now if he's got pretty much all of his eggs in one basket with 91 dribbling. Erling Haaland is the youngest player on this list, and he's number 2 on the rankings. I think he'll probably get an 88 rating in FIFA 22, which I believe is more than fair, but in my opinion, in my very biased Dortmund opinion, I think he should be 89 or 90. Genuinely, I don't think that there's been too many players to absolutely break the bank for in the last couple of years, but this is one of them. I mean, you got to put everything you can into buying this player, and I think Dortmund are very lucky to have him right now. It is just a matter of time in terms of the next couple of years before he's gone to a club that can obviously pay him much more than Dortmund can. But I'm going to enjoy the time that he's here when he's here, because he is an absolutely spectacular player. He is going to be one of the greats. I mean, I could probably predict he's going to win Ballon d'Or eventually. he's unbelievable. At only 21 years and 1 month, I mean, he tosses around defenders like he's, you know, been a part of this game like he's a 27-year-old. I mean, it's unbelievable what this young player can do. I couldn't say enough good things about him. So before I make this segment 4 minutes long, we'll move on to number 1 on the list. Jesse Lingard. I mean, no surprises here, guys. Of course, it's Mbappe at number 1. I don't think he's going to get an upgrade or downgrade. 90 rated is fair. He is a spectacular player, and obviously he's going to be one of the most expensive players in FIFA 22 Ultimate Team, just like he was in FIFA 21. 96 pace, 91 dribbling, 87 shooting, good enough passing and physical to get by, and he's got the great links. Now he links to Messi, and he links to Neymar, and he links to Di Maria, and he links to all these other Paris Saint-Germain players. And then obviously France is also a very easy nation to link across other leagues. So this card is kind of what you would base the perfect FIFA card off of, is this Mbappe card. He's got the links, he's got the stats, he's got the look. All right, what a perfect card. Thank you guys so much for watching the top 15 rated U23 players in FIFA 22 Ultimate Team. If you want to see more videos like this, drop a like on the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will see you in tomorrow's upload. Peace out.